Good morning, everyone. Long time no see. Montessori Mall here. The way I imagined this live to go, I wanted to do a live video talking about a couple of things, but I'm exhausted. I'm really tired. I don't know, I just felt like, let's still show up. It's been a very, very hectic week. We've had a very hectic week. Not just week, a very hectic month. I wanted a live video to show you, show you around and just talk generally. But I've been standing up trying to set up my lights, trying to bring some materials in, but good morning, home refinery. But last minute I started feeling dizzy because I'm not eating this morning. Good morning, everyone. Before we go any further into this live, let me just state again that for people who are following me on WhatsApp, they already know about this update. It's only one number. This number, my official number, the one that is tagged to this Instagram page, that's the only number that you can reach me at. That's the number you can place orders. That's the numbers you can communicate with us. That's the number for everything. All our other customer care numbers are down currently. I'm still trying to retrieve the SIM card for one of them, where you usually request for your tracking IDs, and when you request for maybe you have issues on delivery or complaints or anything. That number is currently down. I already talked about this on my WhatsApp. Staff took the phone out and it was raining that day, and the phone slipped from my hand and the flood took the phone and my staff keys. Can you hear me clearly? If not, I can put off the fan if the fan is too noisy. So that's how we lost our staff phone with the rain, the flood. So one customer care rep number has been down, the other person has been having light issues, so most times our phones are not on, most times our phones are not charged. So it's only, thank you very much, third and fifth, it's only my number that it's reachable now, that you can reach on WhatsApp, you can reach on call and everything. So I'm the only one who is dealing with everybody, so please take it easy. It's a lot. I'm the only person who is dealing with everybody and replying everybody's messages and speaking to everybody, even people who are coming to the store. When they request for directions, they call my number. I'm coming to your store, it didn't used to be me. So we are still trying to work on retrieving the SIM card, then getting another phone and putting the SIM card there, so that the WhatsApp number can then be available for people who have those kind of questions, so that those people can be redirected there, just like it was before. So please take it easy. It's plenty work over here, and thank you so much everyone who has kept us so busy with your orders. Before we are packing one person's order and say, after we are done with this, we're able to rest for a few days and just do normal things. There's something else coming up, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for keeping us so busy. It's just, this month has been so hectic. I share some of my struggles as a business owner on WhatsApp a lot of times, but it's just like 10% of what we actually go through behind the scenes. Yesterday, let me gist you what happened yesterday. So yesterday, a staff of mine who went to the park to pick up items to deliver items at the park. She went there, and on her way back she had an accident. She's fine. A bus ran into the keke she was in, and the reading series she was carrying, everything spilled on the express, so she had to pack. And this was at night. It was around 9 o'clock, so it was at night. So she got here around to 10. So I had to be up and online all through that time, waiting until she got here safely. And now that she's here today, now we are trying to go through all the reading series that spilled on the road to ensure that everything is complete. So we don't even know. We are still sorting it out. I just came in because I was exhausted. We don't even know if the reading series are complete or if they are not. If they are not complete, it's not her fault, it's not anybody's fault. It just means that on us, we have to go and start reprinting and start doing all of those things. So there's always one thing going on. Even if the country is not messing with your health, your mental health, there's something going on as a business person. If you're not dealing with dispatch people, you're not dealing with there's something just going on, and this week has just been from one thing to another thing, from one thing to another thing. But we thank God, at least we're still getting patronage from a lot of people every day. Thank you so much. So in fact, this week just started, last week rather, I've just been so down, but still trying to show up. So every time you see me coming online and posting, sometimes it's just reassuring myself that you're okay, you'll be okay, the business will be fine, don't stress about it, and all of that. So it's been from one thing to another thing. So I just want to come on live today. I don't know, I just felt like, it's been a long time. We've been running so many ads. People are coming to the page, they are seeing our page, they are checking us out. So let me put a face behind all the pictures. Usually when I post, I don't usually post my videos or my pictures. So lives are one way that I can easily come on to show the face behind the brand. So yeah, Montessori Mall here. And thank you to all the new followers that we've gotten in the last few weeks or months. Thank you very much for your patronage and for your support and for your buying. The way people have been buying these weeks has been so comforting. Thank you. At least whenever that thing is not working so fine, you know that you can still count on small money coming in every single day. So thank you very much. I still have a lot of new items that arrived that I wanted to post, but I have not gotten around to posting yet because my head is still thank you, because my head is still in the clouds. I'm still trying to calm down. So it's been a lot of materials that are coming in. I'm like, I'll post, I'll take pictures of them, I'll do videos of them, but yeah, we've not just gotten around to doing it. So probably I may show it on the live or not. I don't know, depending on how tired I become afterwards. But before then, let me just do this live. I don't know, maybe I'll download this live afterwards and repost it. But let me use this live as an opportunity to explain something that has been reoccurring. Many people have been asking about the same thing. So I'll use this live to explain why we do the things that we do, and one of them is recommendation. When it comes to recommending, hello Akube Cluster, when it comes to recommending products at Montessori Mall, I do not do recommendation without commitment fee. There's a clause. We get tens of messages every day. If I open my Instagram account only, I'll see about 50 messages from people who are saying, can you recommend something for me? Can you recommend something for me? Right now it's about 50 because I've not been replying for a while. Once I see recommendation, I'm always like, where do I start from? So I do not recommend materials to parents, and it's a business policy of mine not to recommend materials to parents or school owners without commitment fee. When you're running a business, especially me, when I'm running businesses, there are experiences that make you say, this one I know they do them again. We don't just pull out these policies from the cloud, and I'm going to explain to you why we don't do that. If you're placing orders and you're not, my page is so I've invested so much time creating all those videos, all those pictures that you see. I spend so much time creating them, editing them, posting them. They show you what the material, exactly what you're getting. You understand? So you already have a child, you know what level your child is at. Maybe he's not reading, maybe he's not blending, maybe he can't recognize alphabet. So you have an idea of what exactly you want. They are so self-explanatory. But there are some people who would not still know what to get or when to get it. So that's why they always come back to request for recommendation. If you want me to recommend materials for you, will do that, but you need to commit. In the past, I was always, before I set down this policy, now this is how this policy came to be. I was always, what's that word? When somebody has overworked him or herself. I was, thank you. Akime Plus, thank you so much. Thank you. We have a store. You can come and order at our store. We have a physical location for people who want to come. 5 Alaji Jimo Street, Lasu Road, Adexi Vulcanizer bus stop. So we were always recommending, and now every 2 weeks I'll fall ill. I was so exhausted. I was constantly exhausted. That was my story. Because I'm taking calls. Yes, now we have 3 full-time staff who are working here, and some other people who don't work full-time. They just come and we pay them as they come, as they work when we have overwhelming orders. But I have 3 people currently now who are here full-time. even with that, I still get overwhelmed. But then that period when I was doing that recommendation thing, hey, I was getting overwhelmed, and I was making even less sales than I am making now. Imagine that. I was working twice as hard and I was not making as much sales that I was making now, because I spent all my time recommending materials, and I'm very thorough. All the people who have requested for recommendations from me, I go ahead, I don't just start sending you random material because I want to sell market. I ask you, what age group are we talking about? I ask you, what subjects do you want us to concentrate on? And I try to get I ask you, what's your budget? These are very three important. I ask other questions, but these three are always my starting question. What's your budget, so that I know what materials to prioritize? Then I go ahead and start recommending materials. Now, when we recommend materials based on that person's budget, the person will now look at it and say, I have this one, I don't want it, I don't like this one. We'll start changing. So it's a back and forth thing. It's not something that we just say recommend materials to me and I'll just send that person just say I'm okay and pay. It rarely ever happens. So I even recommend, because of how thorough I am, I'm always like, let's see, what's your budget, what subject are you concentrating on, what is it for a school, is it for a particular child, what exactly do you want to achieve with these materials you're about to get, before I start recommending items to you. So imagine doing that kind of work like 10 to 20 times every day for different people. And no, you cannot copy and paste. It doesn't work like that, because if I copy and paste, somebody comes and say recommend to me, another person comes and say recommend to me, and I'm copying and pasting, it cannot work. Because the first person may say my budget is 50,000 naira, my child is 2 years old. The next person may say my budget is 100,000 naira, my child is 4 years old. So obviously the same materials cannot work. So it means every single time I have to take my time and recommend to those people. And you know what happens then at the end of all the back and forth? Sometimes this can take hours, because after recommend, they suddenly are no longer online. They can come back a day after, they can come back 2 days after. Oh, sorry, I was busy, blah blah blah, and that's okay, and that's fine. Then they'll say, I don't like this, let's do this, let's do that. They will keep on going. This can go on for days, sometimes weeks, depending on the customer. And at the end of everything, they'll say, I'll get back to you. So I was using, if I spent 8 hours on Instagram, I will use like 5 hours to be doing recommendation, consultation, and 1% was leading to sales. The actual people who want to place order, I'll be too exhausted to do attend to them. They will have to start calling me and say, please check your DM, please check your DM, because I'm already tired. So when I even come, I'll just say, what do you want? Just pick. I'm tired. I'm dealing with online messages, and I'm also monitoring that the orders that they are packing is also in order, and everything goes out smoothly. And there are other things that I also do in this business. As a small business owner, you are your marketer, you are your social media manager, you are your customer rep, you are this. Even when you have other staff, even when you've trained them, and even when you've taught them how to run certain part of the business without you, you still need to oversee it. You still need to oversee it. So I was doing all of these things. Recommendations was when I sat down one day, I asked myself, what's that area, what's that part of the business that is taking so much time but bringing in very little money? Number one on my list was recommendation. I had to cut it off, and that's how I stopped recommending. So if you're sending me a message and saying please recommend materials to me, and I've not replied to your message, this is probably why. I do not recommend materials to customers without commitment fee. Now, what is commitment fee? My commitment fee to recommend materials for you is 20,000 naira. It's not a service. I'm not charging you 20,000 naira. 20,000 naira just means that commitment means I am really going to place this order after consulting, after going back and forth, after everything. I am indeed ready. I am indeed serious to place order. But just to show you that I'm not here to waste your time, I'm going to place a commitment of 20,000 naira. Once you have picked everything you want to order, that 20,000 naira that you paid initially will be deducted from your total bill. So if at the end of the day you place order of 21,000 naira, only thing you have to pay is 1,000 because you've paid 20,000 earlier. Okay, so that is how commitment works. It's only now, the only people that I even recommend for is once in a blue moon. In fact, the last person that said recommend something for me, my budget is 100,000 naira, and I sent her a copy. I'm even regretting it because it ended the way it usually ends. But it's fine. Sometimes I may just be bored. Sometimes I may not be exactly overtaxed with so many things going on. So I can just go ahead and send those recommendations. But usually, I do not recommend. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, people send me messages and say recommend for me. I don't do that unless you're actually ready to pay commitment fee. I just remembered a very funny episode that happened between me and the customer. So what happened was the customer sent me a message, and he was like, he wanted to place order and he wanted me to recommend materials for him. He was like, I trust your judgment, I trust that you'll be able to, you know what you're doing, and that when you recommend, you do this, blah blah blah. He was just using I trust your this, I trust your that, that was the language he was using. So I was like, okay, what's your budget? He said 200,000 naira. I said, okay, what are you buying for? He said a school and all of that. I said, okay. After asking him the general questions, I said, okay, before I can work on this order and start recommending anything to you, you need to pay a commitment fee of 20,000 naira to this account. I put my account number. When you've placed your order has been completed. When you place your order, your total bill, the 20,000 you paid initially will be deducted from that your total bill. So if he says he wanted to buy something of 200,000, so when you are done buying your 200,000, when your bill comes out at 200,000, the 20,000 you paid earlier will minus it. So it's not as if you paid for the service. It's just to show me that I am serious and I'm ready, because I learned that maybe a lot of resellers, resellers or people who are just starting their business, they come and they use that to just waste your time, to probably just get a lot of information about the product they're about to start selling. I don't know, and it's not fair. So they come and they just take hours and hours of your time, and they can ask all the whole kind of questions in this world. So when he said that, and I said, you have to pay commitment fee before we proceed, it was like, pay commitment fee for what? This era that they are scamming people online, you are telling me to pay money. So in my head, I'm like, if you cannot pay commitment fee of 20,000 naira, sir, how are you going to be able to pay your order 200,000 naira? So you mean when I finish doing all the old work and sending you this and sending you that and doing all the back and forth, then it reach time to pay, you start asking me, how am I sure you're not a scam? So I was like, he sent a lot of voice notes. I didn't even bother playing it. If I don't see his payment proof that he's actually ready to, I'm not going to open his DM. He was like, oh, I'm ready to pay, I'm not going to waste your time. Those are words. This is somebody that started his DM with, I trust your judgment, I trust your this, I trust your that. So you know that ever since I've placed that policy, it has protected me and my space. So anybody who is now coming, people invite me to come to their schools. Throughout last week, I was booked back to back, Monday to Friday. I was going to from one school to another school to another school. So anybody who invites, I don't usually charge to be in a school. If you tell me to come to your school, I won't charge you for my time. The only thing I'll ask you to pay is to cover the transportation, maybe the fuel that I used to fuel my car coming there, or the Uber ride to and fro. That's the thing. I will show you the screenshot. This is how much they are charging on Uber. So that is your fee. So I usually do not charge for my time to come to schools, to help you do things, or to look around. I do not charge for that. So is it now consultation online I'll start charging for? So I don't charge for consultation, I don't charge for recommendation, but I want you to commit and show that when I actually put in the work and recommend these things to you, you go ahead with your order. Policies protect me as a business owner, and they protect customers too. A lot of time I realized that hours were spent on recommendation and it was not yielding results, and that's why we set that policy. So I always do things that will protect my self-interest and yours. If something has happened in the past that has taught me a lesson, I learn from it, and sometimes I build policies from it so that it does not happen again. Early this year, I was constantly exhausted, constantly burnt out. My eyes would just be watery and blurry because I was always on the screen. What was I doing 90% of the time? Recommending materials. Recommending. Anybody will just come. I have 2 months old, he's not talking. I have 3 years old, he's not singing. What would I do? I will start. And I wouldn't charge. I would just say, oh, let me start telling you. Okay, my belief was that when I'm done with the back and forth, when I'm done recommending, when I'm done with everything, the person will say, okay, let me buy this and let me buy that. Many of them will just come, and after the whole process, they'll say, okay, I'll get back to you. I will ask my husband. I've told my accountant to pay, and that's the ending of that journey. So when I realized that my time was not being spent here, maybe in the future, when we are more balanced, more everything, we can employ an expert another expert that will just, that's the job of that person to be recommended, maybe, because me, I'm not going to invest my time in doing that anymore without commitment fee. So if you want me to recommend for you, and in fact, if you are sending a DM and you're saying recommend materials for you, for me, be ready to pay that commitment fee. So when you pay that commitment fee, when you place your order, the money you paid initially will be deducted from your order. Anybody who is not willing to commit is actually not really willing to. That's my own belief, and that's why I've set that business because it has been working for me. So if I tell people pay commitment fee and they say, oh, I have a problem with that, oh, I think, oh, if you're a scammer, if I'm a scammer, why are you asking me for recommendations? If you don't trust that it's a business, a genuine business, why are you here doing the back and forth? Oh, this material is not good. This one, I have this one. What's this one used for? What's this one? People will even go ahead and start getting a mini training. So if you are doing all of this and you are saying, I don't know, how am I sure you're not a scammer? It doesn't make any sense. So if you're not willing to commit to show that when you are done with this consultation, when you are done with this recommendation, I'm actually going to go ahead and place that order. I do not bother. I don't invest my time anymore on those kind of transactions. So if you sent me any DM and I've not replied, it's probably because of this reason. I don't recommend. I have so many self-explanatory videos on my page that shows you exactly what the material looks like, exactly what to expect when you buy them, so you can gauge on your own, because you know your learner, you know your child. What if that material is still for your child? I have those. I have a catalog that has pictures of the materials, the prices, the names. I can send you that. You can pick. But if you want my expertise and you want me to begin to do the back and forth with you and sit down and start listening and start doing that, you need to show commitment. That's why it's called a commitment fee. So those were the issues that we're always having, and now by the grace of God, that problem has come down. We still get so many people who say recommend. Sometimes I don't even know where to start from, so I just leave, because most of the people are first-time customers. 99.9% of the people who come and say recommend, they are all first-time customers, and 90% of them will not go ahead with their order after the consultation. That they've taken hours, taking days, sometimes weeks. They'll just tell you, sorry. You know, there was a customer that came to me one time. She was like, recommend materials to me. I said, okay, no problem, ma, but I don't usually recommend, because people just come and they just ask a lot of questions and they take my time and they end up not placing order. So I will recommend to you, but only when you are ready to actually place the order. She said, okay, thank you, I understand. And the next day or 2 days later, hello mama, I'll check your DM once I'm done with this live. Thank you so much. The next day or 2 days after, she came back again and she said, okay, I'm ready now, my budget is 100,000 naira and I want to place the order. I asked her my usual questions: what do you want to achieve, what's the age of the learners, blah blah blah, and she said, she replied everything. Then I started to recommend all these materials to her, send her the ones that are within her, based on her budget. I was just sending. After everything, this one that I told my story, I told her that I don't usually recommend though, but I'm going to do it for you only when you are ready to place order. I told her how the thing is for me. She said okay. She didn't ask for the recommendation. She came back afterwards and said, I'm ready now. After everything, the back and forth, she just left my message on read. After she has asked all the questions, after she has done everything, she left the message on read. So that's when I realized that many of those people who do this to you, they are first time customers. They may be resellers, they may be people who have already bought the stock. They have those goods already. They're not intending to buy it, so they just want to learn about maybe how it works, so that they can have things to use for marketing or whatever there. And they won't tell you that that's their motive. They'll just come and pose as customers, and they are wasting time, and they're making me feel exhausted, because I'm always replying to their messages that do not yield any results. Businesses are run for profits. If it's not profitable, if I'm investing my time in activities that are not profitable, it doesn't make sense to keep doing those activities. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. So that's why we do not make recommendations to people without commitment fee. That's the reason. There's no other reason. That's the reason why we don't do that. But if you're making commitment fee, I will recommend to you, when you're done, you deduct the money you paid as your commitment fee and pay the balance. That's how it works. If you say, Montessori Mall, come to my school, come and see my school, I'm willing to come. Lagos, I've been to so many schools in different states. Come to my school. It's also a pity that every single time I go to school, 90% of the time I go to a school, I don't remember to take pictures. I've been to a lot of schools. If I had that permission, I would have tagged them on maybe the live, after the live. So many schools in Lagos. Last week I was going back to back. So if you invite me, I don't even charge you for my time. As far as that day is a free day in the sense that I don't have to go anywhere else, I would come. The only thing I will ask for you is my transport, my fuel to come there. Let me cover it, which most times doesn't even exceed 20,000 naira. I will not charge you for my time. I went to a school before in Okorodu to help the woman install wallpapers. I did not charge her for the service of installing the wallpaper. I didn't charge her for the gum. The only thing money she paid me was the exact money I used to give the Uber driver that came, waited for me, and took me back. So if she didn't pay that transport fare, or if she didn't buy that goods that she wanted me to come and install for her, I will not go. Because how do I know that after all the old back and forth, after I reach there, you will not start telling me that you're not buying this one again, you're not doing that one? Then my time is gone, and time is money for me. I know many activities that if I invest 1 hour, 2 hours doing, I'm going to have a good day the next day. So if I want to come and spend it at your school or making recommendations for you, please value it. And if you don't place value on it, it's why we are having that problem of I cannot commit, because you don't value my time. And if you don't value my time, I will not also invest my time recommending materials or visiting your schools. I don't do that. The last person, a repeat customer of mine, came one time and said I should recommend materials for her worth 300,000 naira, that a school needs it. And I told her that I don't do recommendation. No, these people are this waste my time. They are time wasters. I know they do. Because she's a repeat customer, she buys from me regularly. And she said, no, I know this person. I said, they will waste your time. I don't used to recommend. She said, no, they will do this. I said, okay, no problem, because it's you and it's somebody who always buy from me. So I know that she doesn't have any other motive. She actually has someone who wants to, who needs that material. So I just told her that, okay, I'll recommend. And I sent her the recommendation and everything. Then the next time I sent her a message, I said, how far with your customer that wants to buy 300k item? She said, and the person, she has not been to the person, just excuse. And in my mind, I already knew that it's the same story. Somebody will come now and say, I want to buy market of 1 million naira. I want to buy market of 500,000 naira. And they say, hey, before I can drop this your list of 500k or 1 million or 200,000, just give me 20,000 naira. Just show 20,000 naira down payment. Just pay that 20,000 naira. It's like how many percent of the actual amount you claim that you want to spend. When you're done with your order, you will deduct the initial 20,000 naira from your order, and it will be a problem. Why? It's because they are not willing to actually go through with that transaction. So you end up having this burnout, being exhausted. You end up investing so much time and yielding very little results. So this is the why we do not do recommendations in the way that you expect me to. I've been doing that so many times. Just like when I started my business, I was doing pay on delivery. Now there's no English you want to speak that will make me pack orders and leave my store without payment. So when you start a business, or you start anything, or you grow anything with your hands, experiences will make you adapt policies to protect yourself and even to protect your customers. I don't draft policy from the thin air. I don't go about and look at other people's businesses and say, oh, this person is not doing pay on delivery, so me too, I'm not going to do it. I don't do that. I work with my own personal experiences with people. So it is the lesson where una don't teach me. That is why I have the policies that I have today. It is the experiences that I've had that makes me to adapt the policies that I have today. So that's the long and short of it. So anybody who is requesting for recommendations should be ready to commit. In fact, henceforth, if you come and say recommend items for me, I'm going to refer you to this live that I'm making now. I'm going to go and watch this my live. If you watched it finish, come back and pay your commitment before I recommended it to you. Go and watch my live. Because I know that I'm always thorough with recommendations, and I always make sure that when you get those items, you are actually pleased and you feel so happy, and I got exactly what I needed. Not I got what Montessori Mall is trying to sell out that is not selling, so she now packed and gave me. No. I want you to actually be happy with what you have gotten. So I know that I'm always very thorough and I do my best every single time. So that's why I post, I send. I'm still going to leave this live because of the messages and calls that are about to start coming in. So that's the way I send the item that I send. So anyways, I'm going to go off live now. Okay, let me just do a quick show of some of the materials that we had that I've not had time to post, and then go off live. I have so many messages to reply to. I've not been online fully for a couple of days now because of my screen problem. My phone screen has been blinking, so I've not been on live for a while. So anyways, here are a few materials that we have that I've not posted. Number one is this writing board. There's one board that is not here. This writing board that has a whiteboard on this side, and this one a workbook something on the other side, and has letters. It's 2,000 naira. The material that I'm yet to post on my page. I'm trying to take a good picture, live picture of it so that I can post it, but I don't have the power now to set up any background, anything. So they have it in pink and blue. Then I have this white and white boards. We have so many new materials that came in. I posted like 3 on Sunday, and I think that's the last time I posted. We have this white and right and white board. It comes in different designs. It comes in, what animal is this? This looks like a fish, house, and car steering. And this is 1,700 or 1,008. I'll check. Then there are some materials that I also bought. I said, let me buy and use for myself, use for my classroom. But later I changed my mind. I just said, you know what, let me just sell it. They are here and they are big items, and I want to sell it off at price of flat price of 10,000 naira. This is a jumbo building block. The bag is old because it's been here for a while. 10,000 naira for the bag. It comes with building block and this wooden bricks that they used to build like towers. 10,000. And I also have one other one. Where is that car? These ones are like outdoor toys that I got to. I said, let me use for my classrooms. But it's just there, just tying money down, because right now the classroom is not yet in use. So I decided to sell it. It uses battery. It makes all these sounds when you press these buttons. The battery there is very low, so it's not loud, and I can't lose the battery out because I don't have screwdriver. You have to use screwdriver to lose it. So this is also a, like, what do you call this? A bike I bought. I said let me use for my school, my classroom, but it's not yet in use and it's time I know. So I said let me sell it. It's 10,000 naira. Then I also have this table. My God. I also have this table. It's a busy table. Okay. I hope people can see it. It has, number one, this place that looks like a laptop. I'm going to need to download this live and repost this actually. All these buttons, they make sound. I don't have screwdriver. I will have opened it to put the battery. Then it has this laptop screen thing. Then it has this phone. Right? Then we have this book. Then last but not the least, also has like a keyboard. All of this make sound. You're supposed to insert battery in it. So it's a table. It's a table. 2 years, 3 years old can use that. My arm is killing. I'm also putting it out for sale for 10,000 naira. Everything flat price, flat rate price, 10,000 naira each. Then the last one, before I go off, is this chair. It's a chair. Can you see? It has a storage box underneath. Also has a book on the arm with these very interesting pictures. Also have this button place. It's not new, that's why I'm selling them off for 10,000 naira. It makes sound. Of course, you also have to use battery. Then also have this place where you can change the levels. So you can make it level 1, level 2, level 3. And you set. Then also have this one that I'm not sure how it works. And the button by this side, the on and off button when you insert your battery. So all of these outdoor toys that I just showed you now, I'm selling them off because I feel like they're tying my money down. Flat rate price of 10,000 naira. So if you trade any of them, it's just 111. I bought them for my own personal use and they've been here, so I'm decided to sell them off. So if you trade any of them, please send a DM. I'll take proper pictures of them maybe tomorrow. If I'm still having energy today, I'll do that and then get back to you. Thank you so much for joining my live and see you next time. Bye.